offers.
Wow.
So we can have a, whoa, that's a circumstance, and I can't get a house sold because the average property that my buyer offers on has 50 offers on it. Or what is our conscious choice and discipline, Katie? Because my conscious choice and discipline, if I'm working in a market that competitive, and your market is extremely competitive, I saw the stats, I'm going to become a listing agent. I'm going to do it right now. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to work every minute of every single day to find those listings so that I sell properties. And that way I'm the one getting 5 offers brought to me, 10 offers brought to me. You realize that is a conscious choice and a discipline, right? The conscious choice is in the month of April, and I'm sitting here on the 1st, I'm going to go and get 2 listings, 4 listings, 5 listings, 7 listings. Heck, we wrote a class for MAPS called 90 listings in 90 days. I'm going to go and get 30 listings. And recognize when I wrote that class, Katie, at that point in time in my business, I was taking on average 1 listing a week. And then through coaching and through discipline and through conscious choice, I was able to change those habits from average of taking 1 listing a week to taking 1 listing a day for 90 days. But that was a conscious choice and a discipline. The choice is I'll do it. The discipline is every single moment of every single day. When I didn't want to do the activities to hit that goal, I actually, for the first time in my life, did them. So what will be your conscious choice and discipline moving ahead? What do you want that to be focused around? For many of you, it will be listing based. I like to hit this org chart really quickly to kind of drive home this listing based. So if we just kind of look at this one here on the left-hand side, for most of us, we're independent contractors in this industry and we've got no team around us. And that's fine. Like, this is not a team class, but I want awareness of where you're at in your business. So current organizational chart, CEO, that's you. Do you work at the best company on the planet, which is KW, or do you go down the street to another brand? You do get to make that choice. Now, make no mistake, you've made the right choice by being a KW, but that is the decision. Where do I work? CEO gets to decide, do I buy Zillow leads or do I work my database in my sphere? Do I do an open house this weekend or do I go fishing? Only a CEO can make those decisions. That is one role of every single realtor in the United States. Next, we go to listing agent. And by the way, if you don't have a team, then you probably are the listing agent of your team. Listing agent is the highest dollar per hour paid activity on the planet, period. It just is. So Katie, I know everybody's muted, so I'll just go to you, and I don't want to have the guts to unmute anybody at this point. So Katie, you're in Eugene, Oregon, right?
Yep.
You're about 3 hours south of me. You're a licensed real estate agent.
Yep.
What's your average sales price in Eugene?
Around 400,000.
Okay, 400,000. So for round numbers, could I argue the average commission in Eugene, Oregon is 12,000?
Yep.
So Katie, if you go on a listing appointment tonight, and they sign with you, how long is that typically listing appointment take you?
About an hour.
Okay, so you go on an appointment tonight, they sign with you, average commission is $12K in Eugene, Oregon. I'm gonna argue at a very high level, you just made $6,000 an hour.
Tell me more, I like that.
But if you're there for 1 hour and they sign a contract, I'm gonna believe at a really, really high level that the most important activity in being a listing agent is getting a listing contract signed. It's just that simple. So if you go there and get that listing contract signed in about an hour, you made half of that commission in that hour. And I'm not saying there's not a tremendous amount of work to do. You've got to turn in paperwork to command. You've got to make a flyer. You've got to put it in your multiple listing. You've got to put a sign up. You might have to call stagers. There's a ton of work to do, but none of that work is relevant. In fact, none of it even happens if you don't do the surgery part. We do call the listing agent surgeon, which is getting that listing contract signed. Yes or no?
Makes sense.
Okay, so you get that listing contract signed. That's worth half of your commission. You happen to earn that in an hour. So that was $6,000 in 1 hour. And then you drive back to your market center and you start turning in paperwork to command. You start building a flyer. You start inputting it into the multiple listing. Katie, in most markets, what is that worth an hour?
Well, it sounds like I just went from being a listing agent to an admin, and an admin is about, $12 to $20 depending on the area.
Yeah, so you went from $6,000 an hour to $20 an hour, $12 an hour. Not good or bad, just a reality. So we call that being the nurse of the business. And Monica, don't get me wrong, like nurses are the backbone of every business. They just are. Like without that, we fall apart. without marketing, without turning paperwork into our brokerage. They're the nurse of the business. So if the listing agent is the surgeon, then the nurse of the business is going to be the administrative side. But the reason I'm pointing this out, everybody, is because I want an awareness when we are 1 quarter exactly completing this year. Where did you spend your time in the first 3 months? Were you a surgeon of your business or were you a nurse? They're both critical roles, but to be the most effective in this industry, there's got to be at least a few hours a day we're in the surgery role. And of course, we'll talk more about this later in the call, but the most underutilized part of 90+% of real estate agents' business in the US is their database. It just is. And who's in charge of the database, Katie? Is it the listing agent?
No.
Is it the buyer's agent?
Absolutely not.
No, it's the admin. What are the NAR stats on this? It's 90%. This is NAR. 90% of consumers said I had a great experience. I'll use my agent again. 9 out of 10, nationwide, all brands. Considering the complexities of buying a home, buyer remorse, sale fails, appraisers, like it is a rough process to buy or sell a home, even with the greatest representation on the planet. For 9 out of 10 consumers to come out of it saying, hey, I love my agent, I'll use them again. I say game on as an industry. You guys are doing great. We're doing great. I'm a licensed agent. What percentage of consumers, Katie, actually go and use the same agent when they go to buy or sell their second home? Do you know those numbers?
It's depressing. It drops down to like 12 to 17%.
Whoa. So we just went from 9 out of 10 consumers saying, I'll use you again when I do my next real estate transaction, to 1 out of 10 consumers actually use the same agent a second time. Why do you think that happens, Katie?
Because we're all salespeople trying to be admins, and we're bad admins because we don't stay in touch in front of our people constantly. That's not our brain set to do that. We're not.
So what you're saying is because we're salespeople, we go out and hold more open houses. Maybe we call expireds, maybe we call forced sale by owners, but what we're not doing is staying in touch with our database. And that's because we're not good admin typically of our own company. It's the admin's job to stay in touch with our database. And then of course, there's the buyer's agent side of the business. To me, being a buyer's agent is helping your clients win in a competitive situation. To me, being a buyer's agent is in a different market. And at some point, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be in a different market where there's not bidding wars on every property or multiple offers. And the buyer's agent is helping your client get a great under asking offer accepted, right? We will go to that market. That's being a buyer's agent. To me, being a buyer's agent is solving a low appraisal or navigating through a very nasty home inspection and keeping it all together. That's buyer's agent. That's surgery work. And then there's, of course, the show, and that's probably worth about $1,000, $2,000 an hour. And then there's the showing side of the business, and that's opening doors at a high level. That's very different than negotiating contracts, probably worth $50 an hour. So yes, am I camping on this? Unequivocally. But reason is, folks, I wish they taught this in real estate school. Where are you spending your time and money? Are you a showing agent? Are you an admin? Are you a listing agent? Are you the buyer's agent? Are you the CEO? For most of you, which is awesome, you're probably wearing all those hats. And the question is are you wearing them at the appropriate time of the day? And or is it possible that you might want to hire somebody to do your database work for you? And we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Or you could have a future org chart, right? If we go to the right side of the screen, which is, okay, I'll be the CEO, that's me. I'll be the listing agent, that's me. Not very good at my database. Don't love turning paperwork into command. I'll hire an admin. Buyer's agent, I love the buyers. I love negotiating contracts, that's me. Opening doors, I don't really need to do all that. Maybe I'll leverage that out. And the beautiful part of this, it's your choice, it's your business, go whatever direction you choose to go. Now, because of our wonderful technology issues, Katie and I failed to mention that there is a chat box at the bottom of your screen. So Katie, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, excuse me. If you guys could just break the ice right now, if you guys could just type in if you guys are on a team or independent, just so we can kind of get a feel for the room right now, that'd be great.
Yeah, you got a chat box. It's there. Ask questions. I know we had a fabulous technology. We'll just chalk it up to COVID start because I get to blame things on that till it finally goes away. But if you've got questions, please type it in the chat box. All right, lead generation, consistency. You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine, John Maxwell. So time blocking, 80-20 rule, 20% of your activities will account for 80% of your results. You guys are at KW. This is nothing foreign to you. You've heard it before. The reason I wanted to include this slide into today is what activities do you need to make sure you're doing for the next 90 days that you maybe weren't consistent at for the last 90 days. And likely that's going to be the 20%. Likely that's attacking listings. Likely that's getting 2 to 3 touches a month out to your database. It's just that simple. Cool. It's critical to track your numbers. Katie, why don't we go off script for a second here and give them a couple scripts?
Okay, I love it.
All right, so you guys want a technique to go and get some more listings?
Are we gonna do my favorite one?
Yeah, Monica's like game on. Tanya's like, hey, I'm still frustrated with the technology. Lori's like, I'm just glad I'm here. All right, let's do this. Got Tanya smiling.
Oh, wait, before we get into this one, Craig, an agent just called me who from 5 months ago took this class and implemented this. And in 5 months, he sold 15 homes all of last year. And in those 5 of those months he was using this, of the 15 homes, 5 of them came from this script.
That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that, Kate. It's a great script. To use this script, you actually have to go and get 1 listing. I repeat, to use this script, you have to go and get 1 listing. So get it from your best friend at church, get it from door knocking, get it from your past client, but you actually have to go and get 1 listing. So you get that listing and you can do the typical, like have your title company send out just listed, just sold postcards. You can do that. Or we can plus it substantially. So let's assume I'm standing in your living room, Katie, and I just signed contracts with you. I'm the agent, you're the seller. So yay, congrats, Katie. Thanks for signing listing contracts with me.
Yeah, I'm excited to work with you, Craig. Get my house on the market.
I'm fired up. We got photography scheduled Monday. We'll be on the market Wednesday. The market's hot. If all goes well, we'll have offers by Sunday.
Great.
Katie, to get the most amount of offers, can I get your help?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, it's easy, but this actually works. It is not uncommon that the buyer of your property is going to come from your neighborhood. Let me repeat that. It is not uncommon the buyer of your property is going to come from your neighborhood. There's somebody living around the corner, especially in this weird pandemic world we live in, who wants their mom to relocate and live closer to them because their mom doesn't like traveling from California, of course. There's somebody in the neighborhood that has a best friend with similar age kids, and they would love for them to live on the same street. So when I say it's not uncommon that we want somebody to live in your neighborhood, that the buyer will come from your neighborhood, I mean it. It happens all the time. So knowing that, Katie, I want to reach out to your nearest 200 neighbors, but here's where your help comes in. I can send them all letters saying, I'm Craig Reger, I'm a real estate agent, I'm listing Katie and Derek's home. Most of them are going to throw it away without reading it. It's just that simple. But Katie, here's what I know. If I send something out from you and it says, hey, my house is going on the market. I've listed it with Craig Reger and it's got your return address on the envelope. I mean, think about that. You go and check your mail this afternoon. You got all your bills and spam, and then there's a letter in your mailbox that's got your street on it. Are you going to open that letter pretty quickly?
Absolutely.
All right, here's all the letters going to say, dear neighbors, we've chosen to sell our home. Katie and Derek, we've got the red door on the corner lot. We're going to be hitting the market next week. If you know of anyone interested in buying our home, I've included my agent's business card. Give them a call. We've enjoyed being your neighbor. Take care, Katie and Derek. Katie, could I write those letters on your behalf and send them out to the neighborhood?
Yeah, you're just using my name. I don't have to do anything.
It's literally that simple.
Go for it.
Awesome. So let's pause. Monica, you give me a thumbs up. If Katie sends those letters out, well, I'm doing it for her. If I send out 200 letters to the neighborhood that say, hey, we're putting our house on the market, is it possible some of the neighbors will call me, especially if it's coming from Katie, the consumer? Monica's like, game on. I'm getting a nod. Perfect. All right, let's fast forward 5 days because I've seen your guys' stats. Are you in a market where if you list a good property, Tanya, it's going to sell in 4 or 5 days, you'll get offers? Awesome. Yeah, Renee's like, game on. That's what happens when I list good homes. Okay, so let's fast forward 4 or 5 days. Katie, yay, I got you 3 offers.
Yeah, that was fast. Thank you.
Congratulations, Katie. You got 12,000 over asking.
Woohoo, thank you.
Well, thank you. You got a beautiful home. It was great marketing. We made a great team. I'm excited for you. This is the money part, Lori, so pay attention here. I'm just teasing you, Lori. All right, trust me, you will get so many listings with this, Lori. I swear to goodness. We're not coaches that just go out and it's like, whoa, we did this 7 years ago. Let's tell them it works. I've got a team actively selling homes every single day. I promise you this works. So Katie, congratulations. You got 3 offers. You got 12,000 over asking. I'm ecstatic for you.
Yeah, thank you for the extra money.
You know what? It's my pleasure. Katie, can I get your help? One more time.
Yeah, anything you need.
You're nice. Katie, I love your neighborhood. There's no listings on the market. I love your neighborhood. I want to do more business in it. So I'd love to reach out to the neighborhood and let them know the success I had, that I got you 3 offers and sold your house above full price.
Yeah, let's do it.
But again, Katie, if that comes from you, not me, it's more credible. So here's the letter I'm going to write. Dear neighbors, it's Katie and Derek. Thanks for your help. We ended up getting multiple offers on our house. It's sold above asking. Here's the part, Lori. And I promised my agent, Craig Reger, with Keller Williams, if you did a great job, I would tell everybody. If you have any interest in buying or selling a home, I would highly recommend Craig Reger. We've enjoyed being your neighbors. I hope you like the folks moving into our house. Take care, Katie and Derek. So if I sent out 200 of those letters, Renee, from Katie and Derek to the neighborhood, do you think somebody would call me to get a listing?
We don't think, we know.
We know it works every day. It takes a little bit of work though, doesn't it? Right? We got to convince the seller we want to do this. We've got to write those 200 letters, or at least write one of them and make 200 copies. We've got to call the title company and get mailing labels to those 200 neighbors. So whose job is all of that?
Admin.
It's admin's job. So if you've got an admin, assign this to him or her. If you don't, Monica, this goes back to that conscious choice and discipline. Remember the quote, conscious choice and discipline. So if I do this with every single listing and I choose to be the admin of my own company, and Lori, I've got that conscious choice and discipline, and I send this out for every listing I get, I absolutely guarantee you for every listing you get, you'll get one more doing this strategy. Now, people always ask at this point, like, well, I sold a listing last week. Is it too late to do it? No, just call your client up and ask permission and just send the letter out tomorrow. That's okay.
Just send the second one, just the sold one. And that's honestly the gold one.
Katie, did I see a couple questions in the chat box?
Honestly, no questions. Great mix of teams and independents. I love that there's a couple independents like with assistants and showing assistants, which normally you don't see that. It's either one or the other. So it's a great group for learning how to think a little bit bigger and to make that extra hire if you need to.
Good. Well, I know this is the VIP, so thank you, Monica, for putting that together. And that's honestly who I love coaching the most anyway, because you guys are business owners. So that's a strategy. If you've got an assistant, have him or her do it. If you don't, do it yourself. I also just want to camp out on database for a few minutes. So when we think about a database, or as Mr. Lance Loken, which I'm sure many of you know, one of the highest producing agents in the world, happens to be in KW Houston. Mr. Lance Loken coined the phrase data bank, right? Because when you deposit into an account, you get a return on it. And when you deposit into your database, Katie, Matt, hey Matt, how's it going, buddy? When you deposit into your account, Matt's part of our CC, is one of our great leaders. You get a return on it. So Lori, do you want to be kind enough, Lori, to unmute yourself and you and I can role play for a second? You're so nice. Hi, Lori. It's Craig Reger.
Hi there.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Lori, how long have you been in real estate?
6 years.
Congratulations. How's it going for you? How's the first 3 months of this year gone?
Bonkers.
Bonkers. Yeah, that's kind of true across the board.
Yeah.
Lori, do you have a database or data bank you're using pretty consistently?
I have one, consistently using it. No.
Oh, you know what? I'm glad I got the pick on you, because you're going to get some one-on-one coaching.
Right.
Right. So you have a bonkers market. Your business is going bonkers during the first quarter. You've been in the business 6 years. By the way, Lori, you're like most top producers. You've got a database, but you're not using it consistently. So to all of you, Christian, I can't see your smiling face. iPhone, I don't know who you are. Noel, I'm sure you're awesome, but right now I'm talking to Lori. But all of you, I want you to ask yourself this one question. If you're like Lori, and you sold a house 1 year ago today, it was April Fool's 2020, and you closed on a home. So April Fool's a year ago, you went up to somebody and you handed them their keys and you gave them a hug and you said, congrats on your new property 1 year ago today. Here's the magic question, Amy, Cindy, Stevens, Lori, I want to ask you, how many times have you been in touch with that person 1 year today? How many would you guess, Lori? If you handed me keys a year ago today, because I bought in Peachtree, Georgia, how many times would you guess we interacted in that year in some capacity? Snail mail, email, phone call, happy hour. How many times did we talk? I'm just kind of the average person you sold a home to a year ago.
3.
Perfect, Lori. That's why you're my favorite. I'm glad I picked up. Okay. Awesome. And Lori, thanks for your vulnerability and transparency. By the way, your answer for a top producer is extremely common.
Yep.
Extremely common. I'm going to go to Miss Katie. How many times does Mr. Gary Keller say we should communicate with somebody a year?
36.
In our MET database, so a MET database is not some weird web lead. It's a past client, it's a family friend, it's a sphere, it's a friend from church, it's somebody we went to college with. Gary says 36 times a year. And Lori, bless your heart, is like most great real estate agents in America, and you're around 3. Here at RCC Coaching, we believe it's a minimum of 24, Lori. So, Lori, I don't know if you want to do more business because it's going bonkers, but I will promise all of you this. We will enter a market at some point in the not too distant future, Renee, where it's not bonkers. We just will. Like, this is not a normal world we're living in, where houses are getting multiple offers. You guys have 0.7 months of inventory in most markets under 400,000. None of this is normal. Is that fair? And so we're going to need to rely on our database to be able to do the same amount of business we're doing now. Gary Keller says, all ships rise in a high tide. All ships rise in a high tide. We're in the highest tide of history in the world of real estate right now, Lori. So, Lori, let me ask you this question. If you touched all of the wonderful service you've given to people over the last 6 years, all of the sacrifices, would you guys agree we make sacrifices? I've got a 17-year-old and a 15-year-old. You know how many soccer games, and shame on me, by the way, early in my career I missed, because it's like, oh, honey, I'll be at your soccer game. And then a client called me up like, can I see that house one more time? Because I think we want an offer on it. So I'd call my wife like, oh, I'm going to be 30 minutes late to the soccer game, or I'm an avid fisherman. This was the biggest one because actually was pretty good about the soccer game. So I'd tell my buddies I'm going fishing on Saturday. And then you know what happens? Friday night, a client calls you. It's like, can we see houses all day tomorrow? And I'd call my buddies and be like, guys, I can't fish. They're like, Reger, you always do this. I'm like, guys, it's what I do for a living. Or the worst of the worst of the worst is when I actually take my beautiful family on vacation and we're in tropical Hawaii and everybody's relaxing and dad's walking around like an idiot trying to close deals while we're supposed to be. Don't we do this in this industry? Yes or no? We do. So, Lori, we go through all of that. And why do we do it? And I'm not saying we should do it. And in coaching, I can help us not do that, I promise you. But regardless, we do all of that because we care about our clients and we want to give them great service. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
And then after closing, we forget to stay in communication with them. Holy moly, what the hell are we doing? So let me ask this. If we were to have all of the wonderful people that you've sold homes to over the last 6 years, if you were to touch them twice a month, with some type of touch, when you think real estate, think of Lori. When you think real estate, think of Lori. When you think real estate, think of Lori. If you'd sent that to all of those people twice a month over the last 6 years, would you do more or less business, Lori?
More.
From people you know. Isn't that great? Let's give Lori a round of applause. All right, let me give you guys an example of a great touch that my team sent out this week. Oh boy, I got stuff all over here. Let's find it. Where's Bray? Hopefully there's nothing weird on here.
I love when we get to snoop through your emails.
Yeah, that's all right. All right, where are we at? 9:31. Bree, here it is. Can you guys see that just popped up on my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so here's a touch that went out this Friday to my database. By the way, the script we just went over of the letter, we listed your home. If you want a copy of that, just put your email address in the chat line. We've got hundreds of touches we send out. This is literally the touch that went out this last Friday. to our database. So this is our market stats. They're not going to be yours. By the way, my admin, Bree, the amazing Bree Riddle, here it is. Bree's the one that sent this out. These are our market stats. So this was our touch to our entire database, 84,100. That's the amount the average home value in Portland Metro, that's where I live and work, went up last year. 84,100 represents the additional amount of money sellers could capitalize on if they sell now. Who am I advertising to, Katie?
Sellers.
84,100 represents the amount a buyer just lost, waiting for this to happen before buying. So what are we telling the buyers? If you bought a year ago today, you would have bought a house on average for 84,100 less. 84,100 represents the amount current homeowners just gained in equity on their largest assets. Whatever your situation, 84,100 is a lot of money and a number to know if you own or have any interest in owning real estate. What would your number be? It could be even higher depending on your specific property, neighborhood, price points. Will homes continue to skyrocket in value? We lost our crystal ball, so the answer is unclear. What we do know is this current market is benefiting both buyers because there's low rates and sellers rising pricing in an extreme way that cannot last forever. If you want to capitalize on this historic moment, let's connect, call me. Okay. All of you in your local market, Renee's like, that was pretty good. All of you in your local market, if you sent that out to your database or something similar back to you, Lori, twice a month, do you think your friends, your family, your past clients, some of them would respond saying, yeah, I think I should sell my home, or, hey, I don't want to sell my home, Lori, but I saw your email and my sister wants to sell her home. Do you think that could happen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that a pretty easy touch to do?
Well,
Mhm.
Greg, I know you didn't write that up.
No, I did not.
No way. There's way too many words and emojis for you. So
Yeah.
someone else wrote that for you. And the best part is I saw that last week when you guys posted it on your social media. And actually I copy and pasted it and put it on my own because it's amazing. So like you got 2 touches out of that one thing from someone else doing this for you, and it will bring in business for you.
Yeah, you guys are willing. You guys are absolutely free. I would welcome you following us on social media, Reger Coaching or my personal Craig Reger. You'll see that post show up multiple times. Like this isn't something we used 100 days ago that I just pulled out of the arsenal. That was literally posted on my social media 2 days ago. It went out to my database 5 days ago. My absolute favorite thing. Can you guys see my whiteboard, or is that weird, Katie?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
Just don't start at the top.
Did you see my backside?
Yep, looking great.
That's even weirder. I'm going to show you guys how to make the easiest touch campaign in the world. Can you see that, Katie?
Barely, but it looks like a big square.
Yeah, I wish I had a better black pen. Technology is working with me today. Let's see what this one is. Probably a Sharpie. Nope, it's not. Says marker. Good. Is that any better?
Yep, a little bit.
Destiny, you can order me some good dark pens. That'd be amazing. All right, what is that? That's a 12-month calendar. Pretty simple, right?
12 boxes, got it.
There's days in each month. Every month has days. Some of them have 28. Craziness. So here's how we build a touch calendar, right? What do we have? 1, 2, 3. So we're sitting here in, well, let's just do it here. That's simple. Make a calendar, print a calendar, circle in red the date your touch goes out. Like this is so basic, it seems just ridiculously silly. But as Miss Lori, who's amazing, like look at her energy, and she has the guts to unmute herself and hang out with me for 5 minutes. She's a great agent. Her business is going bonkers. And she admitted, guys, I killed it for this client and I only touched him 3 times last year. So what that calendar represents, Lori, is to never let that happen again. Get a calendar out and just twice a month circle in red. And what that red represents is the day a touch will go out. It's that simple. Some of our touches are long. Some of our touches are 2 sentences. Some of our touches are video. Some of our touches are email. Most of our touches, quite frankly, are what you just saw. It's an email because it's, mail costs money, takes more time to put together. The one thing is when it comes to touches, if you work at my company, if that touch doesn't go out, respectfully, you lose your job. Wow, that's so mean. Well, What if I ran a hospital and my nurse didn't, give somebody their medicine? Like, they would die. Well, my business will die if I don't send touches out. Let's think about that. What's the purpose of an open house? The purpose of an open house is to go to a stranger's home and hold it open, yes or no? It's not your home, it's a stranger's home. Lori, you don't think so? No? What's the purpose of an open house, Lori?
I mean, first of all, to find a buyer, hopefully for their house, but also to build your database and
Yeah.
make new connections.
Lori, we're on the same team. I'm about to get there. I totally agree with you. The purpose of an open house is go and hold a stranger's home open. So strangers come through. So you can convince those strangers to give you their contact info. Then you can reach out to those strangers and set a meeting with them. And then you can build a relationship with those strangers. Yes, and then those strangers become your Met sphere, and hopefully you sell them a home. We kind of said the same thing. Would you agree, Lori?
Yeah.
Here's what I'm wondering, Lori, and I'm not picking on you because you're amazing. Why are we going to try to convince strangers to give us their contact info when we've got a database of 6 years that we just have to remind, when you think real estate, think of me. When you think real estate, think of me. Does that make sense? That's where I'm just picking on, Lori. I'm not picking on you. This is what we do as an industry. This is why National Association of Realtors stats say 9 out of 10 people bought a home, said, I'll use the same agent again. And then when they go to make their next real estate transaction, 1 out of 10 actually use the same agent. Because agents are so busy trying to convince people they don't know to work with them, they forget to actually communicate with the people that they do know. That's all it is. And our business will blossom, and it'll be a lot easier by doing that. So that's all.
Why don't we throw in the bonus apology script?
Yeah.
So half of this room has admins. So, and what I would challenge you guys, what Craig is really emphasizing is, if you have an admin, 80-20 rule, 80% of their job should be focused on your database. We get excited when we hire someone and we have them do errands and put signs in yards and, whatever it looks like, they're doing 50 jobs. And at the end of the day, their one big responsibility to know that they won is that they worked on your database, that touch went out, that they're staying in communication for you. They're doing the handwritten notes and the newsletters and everything for you. So every single day they need to wake up, and their number one thing, we've all read the book, the one thing is to be working on your database. So a lot of us have forgotten that, didn't know that, or just hired someone in a frenzy to do random projects. So if you have someone, you can go to them and do the apology script, which is, hey, Susie, I'm really sorry. I was unclear at the time that I hired you, or when I trained you, or recently, that your number one priority is my database. So Susie, you're amazing. Moving forward, every single week, you're gonna design and then go back into what Craig was talking about. We're gonna send out a touch every 2 weeks. You guys, I did this with one of my own admins. I hired someone, and on day 60 of training, I had gotten distracted, and I sat her down and I realized, I said, what have you learned this month? And she told me 50 things. And I'm like, Kate, did you send out a mailer to all my database? And she's like, no, I have 50 things to do. And I looked at her and I said, Kate, I'm really sorry. But moving forward, if you do not send this mailer out, you do not have a job. Because the money that I get from this mailer is how I pay you. So I want you to know that moving forward, that the moment that you don't send out something every 2 weeks to my database, you do not have a job. So next week, she created her first flyer, sent it out to my database, and we got a client literally within 7 days of her sending that flyer out that paid for her entire year's salary. So just saying that consistency, making it clear, and it's okay to go back if you don't have, or if you have someone, to just say, hey, I'm really sorry, I screwed up. But moving forward, this is your one responsibility. If you do not have someone, half of this room does not have admin, I'm sorry, if you're 6 years into this, 3 years into this, or plus, and you have not worked on your database, honey, you're not gonna do it. So go pay someone else to go do it. This is your free pass. Go ask your neighbor. I don't care if you have a 17-year-old daughter that can do this for you. Find someone to do this, because right now this is the hottest market and we need to be in front of as many people as possible. We just saw an article, Craig was just, we shared with all of our clients yesterday that there are more licensed real estate agents in the country, Renee knows about this, than homes listed right now. Everyone has a realtor they're working with. So we need to be on top of our game. And this is an easy leverage point, you guys. You could walk away, take away Craig's listing letter, and then just the one thing about working on your database. If that was the one thing you did right now, your business would increase next year exponentially, hands down, we could promise you that. This is the easiest thing you guys can do to implement today.
Katie, you're amazing. Everybody wants to know, right? What's the secret sauce? How do I get more listings? What's the secret sauce? How do I get more listings? And I know we're really camping on database, but when I look at Lori, it's, I could go room by, I have gone room by room. There's not a state I haven't taught in 20 times over the last 20 years to the agents across the board that are amazing like you are. And I love your transparency, Lori. It's like, you're just like every other top agent. You're touching them like 3 times, 5 times, 2 times, 0 times. My favorite answer is like, well, if they drink beer, probably 3 times because I like meeting people for beer. And it's like, but that's right. It's just the average. If we stay in touch with them, we do business. But everybody's like, how do we get listings? Pretty easy. Why don't you send out a touch to your database twice a month, reminding them that we're in the most prolific sellers market in history? I think if we sent out a touch twice a month to our sellers, hey, Matt, we're in the most prolific sellers market in history. Matt's like, I don't care. Send out a touch twice a month. You know, hey, Tanya, we're in the most prolific sellers market in history. Tanya's like, cool, I don't want to sell, but my brother's relocating. I'm going to refer him to you. It just works. Like, we don't have to work so hard to get sellers. We just remind our database when you think about selling your home. So in this type of market, all of your touches, all of your social media should be listing based, period. I repeat, all of your touches, all of your social media should be listing based, period. Now, with that said, we camped on database. Katie, should I give them a few other listing strategies that actually take some conscious choice, discipline, and some prospecting?
Let's do it.
All right. Renee, have you ever heard of a for sale by owner? She's like, yes. Renee, have you ever heard of a rent bow?
A what?
What? A rent bow. RENTBO, rent bow.
No.
Okay, well, rent bow is like a FISBO. So you go and buy an investment property, Renee, or one of your clients does. They've got 2 options. They can hire a professional property manager to market that property for them, or they can run an ad on Zillow or Craigslist and put a sign in front of it. They can download an application on the internet and they basically rent it out themselves. So instead of hiring a property manager, they do it themselves. So like a FISBO, they're a rent bow. Does that make sense now, Renee?
Yes, it does.
Do you think there's people out there that have rentals that maybe are tired of being landlords?
Definitely.
All right, let me go over the script with Katie. Let's give Renee a round of applause. All right, Katie, where do we find rent bows? We find them on Zillow and we find them on Craigslist.
Craigslist and driving around.
They're very easy to find, or you find them driving around.
Yep.
They want to be found. They're literally advertising, rent my property, rent my property. So here's the script. Ring, ring, Katie.
Hello. Well,
Hi,
let's
Katie.
clarify who I am.
Oh, I'm the realtor.
And I am a person who is listing a property for rent.
Well, you're advertising your own property for rent.
Yep.
You're not listing it. You're advertising it for rent. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, is this Katie?
Yes, it is.
Katie, this is Craig Reger. I'm a local real estate agent with Keller Williams, and I'm calling because I saw your property for rent at 123 Main Street, Peachtree, Georgia. Have you rented that property?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, the reason I'm calling, Katie, is the market is bonkers. That's what Lori told me. It's literally bonkers. There's less than 1 month of inventory. Have you ever heard about months of inventory?
No, I have no idea what that means.
Well, the average, what you've heard buyer's market, seller's market. They say a balanced market is 6 months of inventory. So anything above 6 months of inventory is a buyer's market. Anything below 6 months of inventory is a seller's market. And right now in most of Peachtree, Georgia, there's less than 1 month of inventory. So it's a strong seller's market. So the reason I'm calling is I could get you multiple offers and probably above full price if you decided to sell rather than rent. Do you want to sell it?
No, I love my rental.
All right. Well, clearly you're a savvy investor. Knowing that, I'm looking for great properties every day. If I find another great rental property, would you want to buy it?
Yeah, I'm always looking.
Great. So Lori, I just found somebody that's a proven investor. Where do I put her contact info? In
The database.
database. And Lori, how many times do I touch her a month?
2 times a month.
Yes, ma'am. All right, let's do the script again. Ring, ring. Great job, Lori.
Hello.
Hi, this is Katie.
Yes.
Katie, this is Craig Reger. I'm a licensed realtor here with Keller Williams in Peachtree, Georgia. Reason I'm calling, I saw your property for rent on Craigslist. Have you rented it?
Nope, haven't.
Okay, Katie, the market's bonkers. The average seller is getting multiple offers and selling above full price. If I could get you an offer or multiple offers, would you consider selling instead of renting?
Yeah, that thing's a pain in my butt. I hate dealing with renters. So yeah, I'd love to list it.
All right, why don't I swing over? What works better for you? Meet me there today at 2 or tomorrow at 3. I'll give you an analysis. If it works, we'll sell it. And if not, just keep renting it.
2 o'clock tomorrow.
Renee, do you think if you had the discipline, I'm not saying you want to, but if you had the discipline and the conscious choice and you called rent bows every single day, you'd find some people that want to sell?
Yes.
Katie, when did you sell? You've got multiple rentals, Katie. This is a true story. When did you sell your last rental?
Got like 8 months ago.
Okay, why'd you sell it?
Because I hate dealing with my renter and it made me a ton of money.
Oh, so it had gone up $84,000. Your renters were bugging you, so you decided to cash in on your $84,000.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not uncommon. And you know what? They're still advertising for rent because they haven't decided what they're going to do. And their last tenant, stain the carpet, what have you. So they're like, yeah, let's just do that. Okay, do you guys want me to give you a couple other listing strategies? Is this helpful so far, Tanya? I'm getting God, I got Tanya giving me the thumbs up. I'm winning. All right, this one's for Tanya. Tanya, these ones take work though. That's why I camped on database for so long. Because database is easy. We just got to touch them 24 times a year, not 3. Okay, so Katie, where did you work at before I hired you 9 years ago?
Title company.
All right. Actually, let me go Matt on this one. Matt, Katie, you're out. Matt, you want to unmute yourself?
Yes.
Matt, where did you, this is true. Katie came from title. Matt, where did you come before I hired you 6 or 7 years ago?
13 years in title.
13 years in title. So do you want to pretend you're back in title, Matty G?
Sure, let's do it.
Ring, Matt.
Hello.
Matt, it's Craig Reger, your favorite real estate agent with KW. How are you, Mr. Title?
Oh, I'm doing great, Craig. How about you?
Not good, Matt. I need listings. I need them now.
Okay. How can I help?
Matt, can you find a list of everybody in Peachtree that owns 4 or more homes?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No problem.
Okay, so you can get me a list of everyone that owns 4 or more homes.
Absolutely. Do you want me to send that to you in an email? Do you want me to send you a form?
Email's good.
How can I help?
Email's good.
Perfect.
Are you able to find their phone numbers?
I believe that I can.
Okay. Yeah, I think that normally there's a lot of title companies that will do that, but it comes at a charge. Or you can hire secondary companies like Mojo or Vulcan, and they can you can download that list. They'll kick you back phone numbers.
Absolutely.
At the very least, Matt, the list you send me will show me the owner's address. So Bob might own 3 homes, and you can give me Bob's main address of where he lives. Is that fair?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great job, Matt. Thank you. So I now have a list of 11,000 people that own 4 or more homes in Peachtree, Georgia. Is that a good list to have in a market like this?
Yep.
All right, let's start calling that list. Katie, you own 4 or more homes in Peachtree, Georgia. Ring.
Hello.
Hi, is this Katie?
It is.
Katie, this is Craig Reger. I'm a local real estate agent here with Keller Williams in Peachtree. You don't know me, but I'm calling you because tax records indicate that you own at least 4 properties throughout the market. Is that correct?
I sure do.
Katie, the market's insane. In fact, the average property last year went up 84,000. So let's go out of script. Those are my numbers. I don't know yours. The average property in Peachtree last year went up 84,000. Knowing that, Katie, have you thought about maybe selling any of your rentals or exchanging them?
I would do one of them. I'm interested in learning how much it increased.
Okay, that sounds fantastic. Just for fun, I've got all the addresses here. Let me confirm them. Which is the one of the 4, 123 Main Street, great. I'll do analysis on that. For fun, I'll do the other 3. What's your best email address?
Okay, do it, blah, 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 blah.
All right, why don't I get all of that sent to you by tomorrow at noon, and then I'll do a follow-up call to go over it with you. Does that sound okay?
Sounds great. Thank you for the call.
Okay, so let's pause for a second. I've got her name because I called her. I've got her phone number. She answered. I've got her rental properties. What's the key thing I just got from you on that call?
Email.
Email. Where do I put all of that, Lori?
Database.
And then how frequently do I communicate my database? Twice a month. So at the end of the day, whether Katie decides to list one of those rentals with me or not is irrelevant, because I know I've now locked Katie in my database. If I touch her twice a month, odds are, whether it's next week or literally, Laura, you've been doing it 6 years, so I'm gonna believe you'll be doing it 6 years from now. Is 6 years from now, Katie's gonna use me to sell those rentals. You see how this all works? But that's the strategy, Tanya. It's not a fun one. Like, nobody loves cold calling, but it does work. So rent bows are really good. People that own multiple properties. Downsizer list is a really good one right now. So I don't know about you guys, but this is knowing your local market. Our condo market's really soft. Really soft. Like, our attached market is the only part of our market that's really soft. The properties are not selling well. So right now we're finding people that have lived in their home for more than 25 years. Is it safe to say if they've lived in their home for more than 25 years, they may need to sell or want to sell? So we're calling them saying, hey, if you want to cash in right now, I can literally make you more money today than any point in the history of real estate. And if you want to downsize to a condo, I can get you a great deal on that, because that's the softest part of our market. So these are things we're doing to get listings. We've got 2 minutes left. Is there any questions in the chat box, Katie?
Well, Matt just messaged him in the back end, you guys. It sounds like you don't have any title companies there, but also it does sound like there are other resources for you guys. So I'm going to leave that to your guys' leadership. So we do understand that that isn't a thing, but there's other opportunities.
Oh, you guys are an attorney state, probably.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Well, there's still places you can call that can get you those lists.
Yeah, Tanya, I think it was Tanya that gave a couple different examples. So
Totally makes sense. Okay, sounds good. Thank you for that. It's the beauty of teaching around the country. Why don't we do this? Share screen. All right, can you guys see this wonderful picture of Katie? Look how pretty she is. We are also doing lead generation, ladies and gentlemen, just like all of you do every single day in your business. We do own a world-class coaching company, and barring the first 6 minutes of this call, we had technology issues. Thank you guys for forgiving me. We're damn good at what we do. We are really, really good coaches, and we do this on a national level. So Katie, why don't you tell them about what we offer, and we'll let you guys go and have a fabulous Thursday.
yeah, I'll keep this short for you guys. You've seen what our style is like. Craig and I have handpicked all of our coaches. We've worked with them for several years. So they're all people similar style to Craig, where it's just kind of aggressive, straight to the point. And how our coaching differs a little bit is that you guys will call either me or Matt, and we will actually hear all about your business, your personality, and then we match you with the coach. So by the end of the call, we actually tell you who your coach is, their production, what they do. So we're very selective on making sure that it's the right fit for your goals, for your personality. And then something else for you guys to know is that all of our coaches are in production with an average of 50 million per year. I repeat that again. All of our coaches are in production with a minimum or with an average of 50 million. So we want to make sure you're getting a coach who is relevant to the day-to-day activities, what's going on, the things that they're going to use and give you are proven materials for you guys in your business. So again, we're very straightforward. We want to hear about your goals, and then our coaches work in 3 to 6 month increments of saying, are we hitting this goal? Let's keep going. And at the pace that you guys choose. So we're pretty low key, awesome, great people to work with. And we set you up with a personal customized plan for you guys. And then we also grow with you. So if you choose to hire down the road, we don't care if you do or don't, but if you do, we do have coaches that will expand with you to coach the team members, or we have specialists within that department as well. Our contract is a 90-day commitment. We want to make sure by the end of those 90 days that we've shown progress, right? You can't go to the gym one time and get a 6-pack, but after 90 days of going consistently, we'll start to see results. So same with our coaches. We want to make sure it's a good fit. We were proven and given that time, and that both parties love each other. And after that, it's just month to month for you guys. Same prices as MAPS. We are $9.95 a month, and we do have coaches that go above that, but starting price is $9.95, and pretty easy from there. Did I miss anything?
Awesome. No, you did great, Katie. And I'll just wrap with this. As the intro shared, is that I own 6 KW market centers around the country. I love Keller Williams. So although we do coach agents from all brands, KW is our base point because it's where I grew up. But also share, I sold all those market centers that were highly profitable. Matt was a team leader of one, Katie was a team leader of another, and I sold them for one reason. This is my passion. So I literally cashed in very successful businesses because my life's passion is helping other people succeed. And although I had 1,000 agents plus working at those market centers, I want to be able to bring this to a bigger audience. So anyone interested, all you got to do is reach out to Miss Katie, take a picture of it, her contacts there, and either Katie or Matt will get back with you to schedule a no obligation needs analysis. So with that said, I again apologize for the technology. Monica, thank you for bringing this together. Peachtree, Georgia, you're amazing. And I hope everybody has a really great second quarter of 2021. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thanks for having us, you guys. You rock. Have a good one.